Hello and welcome everybody once again to RCW Strike Zone. We are coming to you live tonight from Uniondale, New York. Hello once again everybody, my name is Stu Splat and I'm going to be your host for this broadcast of another exciting episode of RCW Strike Zone. First off, to kick off the show, we're going to hear from one half of our general manager's WWE Hall of Famer, Edge. So guys, I just wanted to come on out here and tell you guys that I am excited, very, very excited for what's coming up here in the next few weeks. It is going to be RCW's version of WrestleMania. RCW Final Bell. That's right. We're starting to whittle down competitors to find who will be the best combatant for the upcoming weeks for each of the championships. Like coming on later on tonight, we have Ty Dillinger versus Austin Aries, Naomi versus Charlotte, a returning Asuka facing Paige on one-on-one action, Cesaro and Orton, and then last and importantly not least, we have Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. Something else our general manager also forgot to mention is our main event tonight is going to be the man who's been on Path of Destruction, Luke Harper, will be facing the Demon King, Finn Balor. Finn, of course, defeating Randy Orton back at Hell on Earth inside the cell, and Finn made promise on wanting to be making his focus clear that he wants to become RCW Heavyweight Champion, but he also doesn't mind laying out Luke Harper after all that he's done in the past against a bunch of former world champions as a part of our roster. We're coming up first in tag team action. We have the Revival versus American Alpha. And of course, last week the tag team champions, Team Altitude, went one-on-one against the Club, and Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows and the Club picked up a victory over the tag team champions of what was a great contest between those teams. Of course, the Revival got their shot at the tag team championships back at Hell on Earth against Team Altitude after they defeated the Dudley Boys at Clash of Ages in January. The two-time NXT tag team champions, the Revival. Well, of course, they have to face also former NXT Tag Team Champions, American Alpha, Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, who originally beat the Revival to become Tag Team Champions, and the Revival won them again, won the Tag Team titles. Both Jason Jordan and Chad Gable, extraordinary athletes here in RCW and in professional wrestling. You got strength and agility and speed all on their side, and they're just a great tag team to watch if you've never seen them before. But both these teams would love an opportunity at the RCW Tag Team Championships. Revival's been there before. Let's see if American Alpha can try to impress the general managers and see if they're worthy of a title shot. Starting off the match is Dash Wilder and Jason Jordan. This is the amateur wrestling style of Jason Jordan comes into effect here. With a series of arm locks and exchanges from both these men. Dash Wilder taking down Jason Jordan. And a test of strength here as Dash Wilder is on the better end. And Dash Wilder sneaks in a cheap shot on Jason Jordan. A snap suplex from Wilder. Jason Jordan, well, now both men, sticking to the amateur wrestling. Kind of go back to basics, more or less. And now Jordan tags in Gable. And Chad Gable, a former Olympic wrestler, back in 2002 for the Summer Olympics, representing the United States. I believe placing in silver in Greco-Roman wrestling as he goes for the arm and the knee bar here on Dash Wilder. You've seen this before from Chad Gable. It is very innovative to cut off half the body. And Chad Gable with a drop kick. Chad Gable on the apron, rolling through senton, but came up empty as Dash Wilder rolled out of the way. Now Dash Wilder with a modified surfboard here. And Chad Gable also has his experience in an amateur wrestling background. Now Dash Wilder doing a little bit over Chad Gable. Chad Gable with a backdrop from following the tie-ups. Now Chad Gable making a tag to Jordan as they look for a double team maneuver. Sweeping the leg. And then a wheelbarrow. I was going to say face buster, but they went with a backbreaker instead, so maybe a double team. Not necessarily Russian leg sweep, but a wheelbarrow maneuver. Jason Jordan showing having a little bit of fun with Dash Wilder, scrubbing his face in the mat. Now Scott Dawson was looking to interfere. Dash Wilder up top with a clothesline from the top rope goes Wilder, leveling Jason Jordan. As now the Revival makes a tag, and in comes Scott Dawson, who's the fresher man in this match right now. As Jordan goes for a takedown, the waist hip lock, and in comes Chad Gable and Scott Dawson. Scott Dawson with a snapmare takedown. Right hand from Gable. And Chad Gable with a Northern Lights suplex. And Chad Gable going for an arm drag with a little bit of a monkey flip mixed in there as he goes again. Isolating it half of the body with a leg and an arm bar. With Scott Dawson. And Dawson able to fight out. Now Scott Dawson sweeps the leg at Chad Gable. Dawson goes for the leg drop. And a high knee to Chad Gable. Now Dawson shoots the half into the cover on Chad Gable here. First pin of the match. And Chad Gable kicks out. Now Scott Dawson working the arm with Chad Gable. Because Gable's been doing that to both members of the Revival throughout the match, working the arms. With a little retribution. And Chad Gable with the suplex into the armbar. And Jason Jordan's yelling at Scott Dawson to tap out as Scott Dawson was able to roll himself over to his belly and stack up the legs to Chad Gable. As Gable goes for the fireman's carry. And he sends Gable right into Jason Jordan, but Jordan luckily able to drop off the apron. As Dawson again goes into the cover on Chad Gable, and Gable kicks out at 2. As now American Alpha makes a tag as refs distracted by Scott Dawson into great amplitude. And the ref doesn't see the pinning predicament as he's too focused on Chad Gable and Dash Wilder on the other side of the ring. And Jason Jordan just lets go of Scott Dawson. Now he goes into the cover. And Scott Dawson kicks out before 2. Had enough time to recuperate after the great amplitude. Now both members of the Revival are laid out in the middle of the ring. But only Dawson's legal. Jason Jordan was about to continue to work the legs, and Dawson just shoves him right off. Scott Dawson with a suplex. Looked like Scott Dawson went for the chop block to the legs of Jason Jordan as he's going for a knee bar here on Jason Jordan. Is Jason going to tap out to the knee bar from Scott Dawson? Middle of the ring. Jason Jordan's got nowhere to go, but he's able to break the legs free of the knee bar. I don't know how much that's done to Jason Jordan. As they go and make another tag. They both go for a suplex to Scott Dawson. Chad Gable into the bridge. And American Alpha picks up a win over the Revival. A big win for American Alpha. As they continue to show that they are tag team championship worthy. And who knows, possibly in the future that we might see a rematch of Grand American Alpha and Carl Anderson and Gallows, and they could even fight to be number one contender for the RCW tag team titles. With showings like that, who knows? A big win for American Alpha. As one half of our general managers, Edge, alluded to earlier, that this is a in-ring return for Asuka after losing matches to Alexa Bliss and Emma, and Asuka needed time to really evaluate and reprogram her game plan, and she's back. Had a confrontation last week with this young lady, Paige. War words from both these women. Of course, Paige being a two-time WWE Divas Champion, former NXT Women's Champion, the inaugural Women's Champion in NXT. The same championship that Asuka held for hold the longest championship reign in NXT history. As Paige claims that this is her house, her ring. She was born to be a wrestler, and of course she feels like that's a right. But Paige has to face a returning Asuka. We haven't seen Asuka since November. Again, to reprogram and reset. Asuka, former women's champion all over the world. Became an NXT Women's Champion, the longest reigning champion in NXT. She is a very, very dangerous woman. Two completely different styles, but they all share the same common goal, which is to become women's champion of RCW, as these two ladies are starting off this match strong, and Paige with a headbutt. And Asuka with a suplex. Asuka's looking good so far. Tolerant elbow Collar and elbow tie up from Paige and Asuka. Paige with a test of strength and Paige with a drop kick following the rebound from the ropes. And Asuka with a right hand. And Asuka with a sit out arm breaker. And a roundhouse kick to the leg of Paige's. Asuka looked like he was going for a German suplex, but into the cover on Asuka. Because now we're just going into a series of pins here. And Paige almost pinned Asuka right there. Now Paige is slamming Asuka's head right into the mat. It's now Paige stalking Asuka to deliver a series of headbutts to Asuka. And again, Paige is focusing on the head. And Asuka counters with a face buster of her own. A right hand and a back body drop to Paige. And Asuka was on the middle rope, came up empty with the splash, and she comes right back with a running drop kick. And Paige with a high knee. Asuka seems to have Paige's number here. She went for a spinning heel kick right to the face of Paige. Now Asuka sending Paige over the top rope and shoulder tackle right to the floor. She's making her way right in front of the announce table. I believe this time off has made Asuka a lot more vicious than we've ever seen. As the refs now at a count of 5. And these women they seem to be looking to stop Paige. Excuse me, Asuka went for the crucifix takedown. But she's now got the dragon sleeper on Paige on the outside of the ring. Count of 8 now. Now both these women are back in the ring. They didn't want to have it end on the outside. They wanted it in the middle of the ring as Asuka stalks Paige. Might be looking for the Asuka lock to put this match away. Asuka with the Asuka lock. Almost to a corner, but far enough away that Paige can't reach the bottom rope. She's got it in tight on Paige. Is Paige going to tap out to the Asuka lock? And Paige escapes the Asuka lock, but barely. Of course, the Asuka lock cuts off the air and the blood flow to the brain. Modified chicken wing or rear naked choke, and now Paige taking her turn into a submission. Looking for a modified sharpshooter, Texas cloverleaf to Asuka. You know, it's not the PTO, the Paige tap out, which is one of her finishing maneuvers. Asuka's looking for some maneuver there, but Paige just, with a big boot, shoves off Asuka, and Asuka back on the attack. With knees to the arm and into the cover. Asuka looking for a drop kick. Paige moving out of the way. Paige now with the Rampage GDT to Asuka. Veteran maneuver there by Paige to drag Asuka away from the ropes. Is this going to be enough to put Asuka away? And Asuka kicks out at 2, returning Asuka in action here against Paige. A great match here between both these women. And Paige with an elbow to the heart of Asuka. Now Asuka into the cover on Paige. And Paige kicks out at 2. That time, Asuka hits the drop kick and it lands. Time off did Asuka some good here. As she's just been on an all-out attack on Paige. As now Asuka puts Paige up on the top rope here. Looking for the superplex from the middle rope. And now Asuka with an armbar to Paige. Is Paige going to tap out here to the armbar from Asuka? And Paige is far from the ropes, but she's able to roll back on her belly and deliver right hands to the face of Asuka. Paige is looking for some sort of maneuver, but Asuka shoved her off, and Asuka with an elbow. Snapmare takedown from Paige into the head scissors, and Asuka staying one step ahead. Rolling them both over on their belly to get out of the head scissors, to weaken up the legs, and Asuka just letting Paige have it here. Now Asuka's showing a little bit of fatigue here. As Paige just gets right back on the attack. As Asuka shows a little sign of weakness. Showing a bit of fatigue. Now Paige back in again on the Texas Cloverleaf onto Asuka. Asuka's close to the ropes, but she's not going to be able to make it to force a break. But Asuka's still able to fight off Paige in the Texas Cloverleaf. As Paige went for a spinning back elbow, came up emptying another rampage DDT to Asuka. Paige into the cover on Asuka. Following the rampage, and Asuka still continues to fight. Oh my God. And knee with a Paige with a knee to the face. Still in shock that Asuka's been able to kick out of 2 rampages. These 2 women know each other so well, just knowing counter after counter. Smart move by Asuka to roll out of the ring and now play some mind games with Paige. Even though, of course, we know what Asuka's done in the past with Alexa Bliss, where Bliss absolutely dominated Asuka. Then Asuka popped up almost out of nowhere, hit the Asuka lock and forced Bliss to tap out, but it's not going to be the same here. As Paige goes for the Paige turner to Asuka the same way she won the Divas Championship the night after WrestleMania. And Paige defeats a returning Asuka. In many ways, this could be an upset that Paige is able to defeat Asuka, because this is a returning Asuka and a lot more dangerous Asuka that we've seen in the past. A great match from both of these women. Well, there was the closing moments of the match. Paige hitting the page turner on Asuka, and it's all over. Great match effort by Asuka. But it wasn't enough. Welcome back. Even though it is a bit of a loss, but welcome back, Asuka, to RCW. And coming up next, we have Cesaro taking on Randy Orton. Cesaro losing the RCW Twitch TV Championship to Bray Wyatt inside Hell in a Cell at Hell on Earth. And Randy Orton also has a loss over the Demon King, Finn Balor. And both men want to assert themselves farther. To possible future championship pursuits. And of course, Cesaro, the longest reigning RCW Twitch TV champion, won the championship back at Thanks for Nothing, defeating Samoa Joe for the championship. And Cesaro was able to retain the title up until Hell on Earth, where his number one contender was determined 24 hours prior, and his contender would be Bray Wyatt after he survived the fatal four-way. Of course, Cesaro being a former tag team champion, United States champion, a two-time tag team champion. Here comes the Viper, the 12-time world champion, Intercontinental champion, tag team champion, Royal Rumble winner, Mr. Money in the Bank. Randy Orton has done it all. Randy Orton's actually a two-time Royal Rumble winner in 2009 and 2017. Both these men are phenomenal athletes. Should be interesting to watch them clash one-on-one here. And Cesaro out of the gate with a snap suplex to Randy Orton. You can picture what this could do for Cesaro if he beats Randy Orton here, a 12-time world champion. Also send him to the RCW Heavyweight Championship picture. Of course, he's got to do better than he is right now. And Cesaro just throwing Randy's head right into the mat, almost into the bottom turnbuckle there. Cesaro, interestingly enough, has not revoked his rematch clause for the Twitch TV Championship against Bray Wyatt. As Randy went for a hangman, went for a neck breaker from through the middle rope. Cesaro is such a phenomenal athlete in professional wrestling. As he delivers a right hand to Randy Orton and sends Randy out over to the outside. Cesaro goes for a European uppercut on the outside of Randy. Following a kick and an elbow to the head. As Randy just throws Cesaro right into the ring post. The ref now on a count of 5. And now these two are just fighting it out on the outside of the ring. Don't even care that there's a match going on right now. But Cesaro throws Randy inside the ring, and Cesaro does follow suit. As Cesaro goes into the cover now on Randy. And Randy kicks out before the count of 2. And Randy Orton with the right hand and a swing over DDT. Now Randy with an armbar. Cesaro just able to roll him over and break out of the hold. Cesaro with a neck breaker. To the knee of Cesaro as he goes in the cover. And Randy just barely kicks out after the neck breaker. Smart move by Cesaro, knowing the injury history that Randy has with his elbow and collarbone. Surgically repaired after months of injury. Recovery. Cesaro the fireman's carry. And both these men are just going at it. This is what we like to see. We like to see fights on Saturday nights. As Cesaro with a European uppercut to Randy Orton, but is not too worried about going into the cover on Orton. As Randy's crawling his way to the rope to get himself back up as Cesaro. He's looking to set Randy up for the Gotch neutralizer. As he rolls him over, shoots the half into the cover. And Cesaro knocks off Randy Orton. Cesaro with a huge win over Randy Orton. Now Cesaro might be wondering if he wants to go back after the Twitch TV Championship against Bray Wyatt. With a win like that over Randy Orton, just dominated the Viper. And of course, who knows, Randy Orton still might be feeling the effects of Hell on Earth a couple of weeks ago, but I kind of doubt it at this point. Huge win for Cesaro over Randy Orton. And Cesaro looks to celebrate with the Cesaro section here in Uniondale. And up next, we're going to hear from the former two-time RCW Women's Champion Nikki Bella, possibly to address what happened at Hell on Earth after she agreed to have Sasha Banks into the match and make it a triple threat inside Hell in a Cell at Hell on Earth for the women's title. Look, I know I possibly screwed up my chances of keeping the title inside Hell in a Cell in the triple threat match back at Hell on Earth by including Sasha Banks into the match. I would have had more odds, a lot of people say, statistically. It would have been better to see Charlotte and me instead of Sasha, Charlotte, and Nikki. But you know what? As a fighting champion, I'm still willing to fight everybody that wants to challenge me. Wait a minute. Nia Jax. Nia Jax is coming out to respond to Nikki Bella, saying that she'll take on all challengers. As a former champion, Did you just hear my music, Nikki? The lyrics are, I'm here to break little pretty princesses. And that's exactly what you are compared when you're paired with your boyfriend, John Cena. Nia, clearly you haven't been here for very long. I'm not a princess. I have scratched and earned everything that has come my way. Clearly with that big house and all the fancy cars you got at John's house, oh yeah, clearly you're not a princess. You're just like Cinderella. You pretend to be the poor little girl that turns out to still get the prince at the end. Really? That's how you see it? Well, at least I still haven't lost to Bayley at NXT TakeOver. What are you even talking about, Nikki? This isn't NXT. This is RCW, where opportunities are given once they are earned. And I feel like I still need to earn an opportunity at the Women's Championship if I can beat you. You really want to do this, Nia? Fine. Next week, you and me, one-on-one. Nia Jax doesn't want to wait till... Whoa. Serious mind games from Nia Jax. Looked like Nia was about to start it off going now instead of waiting until next week, but Nia just playing in some extreme mind games with Nikki Bella. So I guess until we hear from one of our general managers, it's still going to be up in the air if there's going to be a match next week between Nia Jax and Nikki Bella. But coming up next, the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger, responding to Austin Aries last week after Austin Aries called him the Perfect Zero. The greatest man that's ever lived takes on the Perfect 10, coming up next. And here comes Austin Aries, the former TNA World Heavyweight Champion, former TNA X Division Champion. Became the first man ever to cash in the X Division Championship to become TNA Champion. Made a great debut against Chris Jericho here on the StrikeZone a number of weeks ago, but still was unable to defeat the champion. He was also part of the Fatal 4-Way to become #1 contender against Jericho at Hell on Earth, and Aries fell up short, as AJ Styles would become that winner of the Fatal 4-Way. So we got the greatest man who ever lived taking on the Perfect 10. There's the crowd here in Union Dales chanting 10, 10, 10 for the Perfect 10. Ty Dillinger. As Ty Dillinger is looking to shut up Austin Aries after being called the Perfect Zero. Austin Aries and Ty Dillinger. Ty Dillinger with a bit of a height advantage over Austin Aries, as Ty Dillinger goes right to work to Austin Aries. Of course, Austin Aries, a competitor down in NXT, sidelined by a jaw injury at the hands of Shinsuke Nakamura, became a commentator over on 205 Live for the Cruiserweights. Austin Aries himself a cruiserweight, as he went for the running the STO on Ty Dillinger and delivered an elbow, as Aries makes way to the middle rope and diving double axe handle to Ty Dillinger. And Aries with a clothesline. And Ty Dillinger with a backbreaker, or a body drive, excuse me. And of course, coming up tonight in our main events, Luke Harper, the man who's just on a mission with a path of destruction in his wake, takes on the Demon King, Finn Balor. And of course, we only get to see the Demon King when situations are dangerous enough that he needs it, and he finds that Luke Harper is just for that occasion. But we'll talk about that later on tonight, as Austin Aries goes for a springboard moonsault off the ropes. Now Aries works the legs of Ty. And Ty with a back body drop of his own to Austin Aries. And of course, Austin Aries, one of many men who kind of helped build TNA wrestling from the ground up, with AJ Styles and Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe, to leave it after seeing the backstage politics kind of destroy TNA wrestling, and went on to greener pastures, went to WWE and NXT, and now to RCW. As Austin Aries went for the chop block to Ty Dillinger as Austin Aries is looking for some sort of maneuver there. I'm not quite sure, but Ty Dillinger with therewithal. Swinging neck breaker to Austin Aries. Is now Ty. Is looking. He straps down the knee. Ty Dillinger looking for the tiebreaker. And Austin Aries with a counter. Side headlock into the fireman's carry. From Austin Aries in the swing over into the cutter. Beautiful maneuver there by Austin Aries. He's now Aries with an elbow to the face of Dillinger as he goes into the cover. And Ty Dillinger kicks out. Now Aries maybe looking to put this match away after boxing the ears. Into the submission here. Right in the middle of the ring. Nowhere for Ty to go. Is Ty Dillinger going to tap out to this maneuver by Austin Aries. And Ty not giving up. As Ty is looking for the tiebreaker, and he hits it on Austin Aries, but does not go into the cover. He wants to execute more punishment to Austin Aries. As he's looking for the double knees into the cover on Austin Aries. And Aries kicks out at 2. Ty Dillinger with those exposed knees, just laying them on to Austin Aries. As he goes into the cover on Aries here. And Aries kicks out at 2. And Austin Aries with a neck breaker to Ty Dillinger. As Aries sent Dillinger into the corner, and Dillinger fights out with a St. Merrick takedown. It's Ty building up the crowd again for the perfect 10 knee breaker. And busts Aries wide open. Into the cover goes Dillinger. And Dillinger with a win over Austin Aries. After a couple of tiebreakers and a couple of perfect 10s, and there's the elbow from Austin Aries. It's Ty Dillinger makes a statement to Austin Aries, saying he's not the perfect 0, he's the perfect 10. Ty Dillinger. And coming up next, we got some women's division, more women's division action. We got Naomi taking on Charlotte. Charlotte a little bit not too happy after losing the triple threat match after Sasha Banks was included by Nikki Bella, and Sasha ends up winning the title, and Charlotte was not even aware of the bank statement that was on Nikki Bella. And here comes Naomi, the former SmackDown Live Women's Champion, unfortunately had to vacate the title due to injury. And the title would be recaptured by Alexa Bliss. And Naomi has to face the four-time women's champion, the last WWE Divas Championship, last Divas champion, Charlotte. And the title was retired at WrestleMania 32. And of course, these two women were two of the three that were remaining on the last episode of StrikeZone before we went on break of 2016. In the Survivor Series style women's elimination match to determine number one contender for, at the time, Bayley's RCW Women's Championship. For Naomi was the last member of her team, and on the opposite end, which would be the eventual winners, would be Charlotte and Paige, and Charlotte would beat Paige to become number one contender for the championship at Hell on Earth. Whoever was going to be the champion, it's going to be Nikki or Bayley, and Nikki recaptured the title, and it's been all history from there. As Charlotte goes for the rolling knee to the face of Naomi. Of course, Naomi with the former injury in the past as she follows the double leg takedown, the injury that occurred in her eye socket. Had to wear an eye patch for a number of weeks. She goes for a springboard splash out of the corner. Of course, Naomi is a former SmackDown Live Women's Champion. She is one of the most athletic women in professional wrestling. Charlotte with a fireman's carry into the flapjack facebuster. As it appears that Charlotte doesn't seem to be taking Naomi too seriously in this matchup. Naomi with a kip up into the enziguri to the face of Charlotte. Now Naomi was looking for a suplex. Charlotte with a suplex of her own. Naomi with a face buster to Charlotte. And Naomi with the bulldog to Charlotte. As she goes into the cover on Charlotte here. And Charlotte kicks out before the count of 2. Naomi with his middle rope splash. Parallel to Charlotte. And Charlotte with an uppercut. Followed by a standing drop kick to Naomi. And Charlotte with a spear to Naomi. And Charlotte's now looking for the figure 4. And she now bridges into the figure 8. Modified version of her daddy's finishing move with a figure 4. Naomi is stuck in the middle of the ring. But Naomi is able to break free of the hold. Naomi's going for an arm breaker there, and Charlotte with a stiff kick to the gut, following the neck breaker into the cover on Naomi. And Naomi barely kicks out against Charlotte. Naomi sweeps the legs of Charlotte and into the cover again. And Charlotte kicks out at 2. Or kicks out before the count of 2. And Naomi with knees to the back on the running double axe handle. And Charlotte looking for a back body drop, but Naomi with a counter it. Halfway through into the bulldog. He's trying to get the crowd here in Uniondale to feel the glow. Naomi with a split leg moonsault from the top rope. Into the cover was Naomi on Charlotte. And Charlotte barely kicking out. Naomi with the rear view to Charlotte. And wisely pulls Charlotte away from the ropes and into the cover. Would a win be good for Naomi? And it is a huge win over Charlotte. A lot of the women here in RCW are a lot of them want to go into RCW's final bell to face the champion. And they're showing what they got. Doing it well, girls. Up next, we're going to hear from Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose also involved in the Fatal 4-Way for the #1 contendership against Chris Jericho at Hell on Earth. Look. I'm just gonna make everything short and sweet and to the point. I know that you're mad and upset, and still after losing your match to John Cena, and honestly, I don't even give a damn. So Samoa Joe, get your ass out here right now. Oh boy. Dean Ambrose might be burying his funeral a little bit early here, as he just calls out Samoa Joe. Oh boy. Joe wanted to avenge that loss against John Cena against Seth Rollins at Hell on Earth, and Rollins still won. Look, Dean, I get that you're a lunatic, but I didn't think that you were this stupid, man. To call me out? Are you serious? You bet I am, Joe. You started beating up my former brother, Seth Rollins. You messed with the family way too deep, Joe. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. I couldn't beat Seth Rollins, so I guess I'll beat the next best thing, his little brother, Dean. Because isn't that what you guys were in the Shield? You were just a little brother, while Roman and Seth were the big brothers getting everything that was coming to them. I might be the run of the litter, but that's not going to stop me from beating your ass. Really? Really, you think so, Dean? You really think so? Yeah, because I've already talked it over with Christian backstage, and he's already confirmed it that next week I get my hands on you in an Extreme Rules match. And Samoa Joe wasting no time with the low blow to Dean Ambrose following the announcement that next week it's going to be Joe and Ambrose inside at a Extreme Rules match next week. And Joe wasting little time to pick apart Ambrose. And the senton from Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is already a dangerous man with his fists. I hate to see what he can do with a weapon with them too. Coming up next, before our main event, we have Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens. And here comes Dolph Ziggler, more or less one of the many victims of Luke Harper over the last few weeks and over the better part of a month now. And Ziggler looking to pick up a win here over Kevin Owens, following the match that he had with Luke Harper a number of weeks ago. And hopefully this can get the gears starting up again for Dolph Ziggler. Both these men, Dolph Ziggler and Kevin Owens, great champions in their own right. Dolph Ziggler, a two-time world champion, Mr. Money in the Bank, United States champion, tag team champion, and Intercontinental champion, and Kevin Owens, the former Universal champion, and two-time Intercontinental champion and NXT champion. And of course, Kevin Owens hasn't been able to get the ball rolling either, as of late. Kevin Owens right out of the gate throwing Ziggler over the top rope, following a shoulder tackle, sending him careening to the floor. Kevin Owens is laying waste to Dolph Ziggler here, as the ref now starts to count. Kevin Owens choking the life out of Ziggler. Ziggler continues to fight. And an elbow from Ziggler to the head of Kevin Owens. The ref now at a count of 5. Body drop from Kevin Owens. Count of 7 from the ref now. Because now both these men are finally back inside the ring. Didn't even seem to care that there was a match going on as Kevin Owens continues to choke the life out of Dolph Ziggler. Now it looks like Kevin Owens is toying with Dolph Ziggler. Delivers a suplex to Dolph Ziggler. Kevin Owens going up empty off the springboard drop kick to Dolph Ziggler. Now Ziggler finally be able to get on the attack. The side Russian leg sweep from Kevin Owens to Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler throws Owens into the ropes and missile drop kick from out of nowhere. Sharp, you could hear it. Now Ziggler with a suplex to Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens with a right hand. We're going for a follow-away slam, but Ziggler with a face buster to Kevin Owens in. Ziggler into the cover. And Owens back on the attack. Ziggler takes him down with a single leg takedown into the single leg Boston Crab. Almost in the center of the ring. And Kevin Owens just shoves off Ziggler. There's a crowd here in Uniondale starting to chant, "Kill Owens, kill." As Kevin Owens already is looking for the cannonball to Dolph Ziggler. This crowd is just about down the middle, just chanting "Kill Owens, kill." Now they're chanting "Let's go Ziggler." Now Ziggler with a neck breaker. And into the cover goes Ziggler onto Kevin Owens, and Owens kicks out before 2. Ziggler coming up empty on the drop kick. Kevin Owens already looking for the pump-up power bomb to Dolph Ziggler as he rolls into the cover. And Ziggler continues to fight, and Kevin Owens can't believe it. Ziggler with a face buster to Kevin Owens. Ziggler goes for another neck breaker. And here comes a 10 count of elbows from Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler doing what he does best, which is to show off. Ziggler loves his neck breakers. He's now looking to put Kevin Owens away with the zigzag from Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler into the cover here. And Ziggler picks up a win over Kevin Owens. Big win for Dolph Ziggler. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you right now, this is coming out of the offices of our general managers that Christian has just confirmed that next week, as we saw earlier tonight, that Nia Jax was answering the challenge to Nikki Bella, and it is now official that next week Nikki Bella will face Nia Jax. In next week's StrikeZone, as well as next week, we'll see Dean Ambrose taking on Samoa Joe in an Extreme Rules match. Dolph Ziggler gets to celebrate a big win. As we now move on to our main event, Luke Harper versus the Demon King, Finn Balor. And Finn Balor addressed this last week when he was making proclamations that he wants to face and win the RCW World Heavyweight Championship, but he'll gladly take out Harper in the process, since Harper's been on a roll as of late. And it won't be Finn they'll take it on Luke Harper. It'll be the Demon King, which we don't see much from Finn Balor besides on special occasions like at Hell on Earth against Randy Orton. But Finn Balor believes that it's time anyway to bring out the demon to stop Luke Harper. But you got to think about it this way too, folks. If Luke Harper beats the Demon King, I honestly don't even want to think about that for what could happen if Harper beats the Demon King. as the Demon King makes his debut inside a RCW StrikeZone show. And here we go off the... Started off collar and elbow tie up from Harper and Balor, and Balor continuing to work on Harper. If Balor can defeat Luke Harper here, he would be the second man to ever stop Luke Harper. But more importantly, it's not just Finn Balor, it's the Demon King. It's a darker side of Finn Balor than he ever needs to pull out for special occasions, and he needs it now as Finn is getting sent into the long dart. Into the middle turnbuckle from Luke Harper. If Harper can beat Gators and all other swamp monsters down in the Wyatt family compound, he can obviously defeat a demon, but it's still yet to be seen here in our main event of StrikeZone. It was Harper with a back body drop to Finn Balor. As Finn delivers a shoulder tackle to Harper. And Balor with an elbow. Balor going to the middle rope. Double axe handle halfway across the ring to Luke Harper. So Harper throws Balor into the ropes, and Balor with a DDT counter. As Balor goes into the cover on Harper now. And Harper kicks out at 2. Balor empty on the drop kick. Harper with a hard right hand. Leveling the demon, and is now Harper from the middle rope, a rolling senton. You never know what this big man's gonna do. And Balor with an uppercut. He's now Finn. Trying to suplex Harper back inside the ring, and Harper just shoves him off as Harper shoots the half into the cover on Finn Balor here. And Balor kicks out at 2. Now these two are just trading blows back and forth. Balor with a spinning forearm. And into the cover on Harper, and Harper kicks out at 1. Harper rolls through to break out of the head scissors and an uppercut of his own. And Finn with a snap suplex. Now the chance for Finn as Finn sets up the missile dropkick in the middle turnbuckle. You see the way Harper's head snapped back off the turnbuckle as he goes into the cover on Harper, and Harper kicks out. Balor being able to keep the big man down. Oh boy. Finn. Finn with the springboard. Onto the outside on Luke Harper. Throwing caution to the wind. Taking everything he can to Luke Harper to put Harper away. To avenge all of the other fallen superstars of Luke Harper. As Balor's on the apron. Springboard missile dropkick from the apron. Followed by another right kick. As Balor now decides to dissect the legs of Luke Harper. Now Harper getting on a wave of momentum. Delivers the facebuster to Finn Balor. Finn Balor is beaten Randy Orton inside Hell in a Cell. Balor with a counter, possibly to avoid the discus clothesline. Into the neck breaker now. Finn with the 1916 to Luke Harper. And Finn is not done yet. Finn wants to immobilize Luke Harper. As now Finn scales to the top rope. Halfway across the ring, coup de grace to Luke Harper. Finn into the cover on Luke Harper. And Finn has vanquished Luke Harper. Finn has made good on one of his two promises. He has put an end to Luke Harper, but now Finn wants to go after the RCW Heavyweight Championship. This match was about even all the way through. As you see the missile running drop kick to the middle turnbuckle from Finn. And the springboard maneuver and the coup de grace halfway across the ring to put it into Luke Harper. I think it is now safe to say that Balor now has his sights set on Chris Jericho and the RCW Heavyweight Championship. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our show this evening. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next week right here on the Strike Zone. Have a good one.